Hello again, everybody. This is me again, back with another review. This time it'll be on Batman Black and White, issue number 2. The series at DC right now, Black and White. It was an older series, and they kind of brought it back. Really nice little anthology, and it can really show you what writers can do with such a small amount of space. So this is issue 2. Here's the cover, just to start out with. It's a nice one by Jock, who's really a stylistic artist in the way that he approaches his work. And sometimes, it might not be everybody's thing, but artistically, he's really, really good. And his style is very respectable in what it is. So, yeah, nice little cover here. And so the first story in it is the story by Tom King, illustrated by Mitch Gerrards, called The Unjust Judge, which the art by Gerrards it's typical Gerrards style, but it's always hard to tell with him how much he's actually tracing and how much he's really doing on his own. Really kind of breathtaking nonetheless. And since these are anthologies, the stories are really short, so it's all building up to the ending. So I'm going to be going over the ending to a lot of these in the video. So if you don't want to have those spoiled, obviously, then you should probably read it and then come back here and listen to what I have to think about it, because that's why you're here, right? So yeah, the unjust judge, a church is set on fire for some reason, and a priest goes in to help with everything, and Batman follows after him. So Batman's kind of following him, and he sees him, he gets crushed under some rubble, and he starts calling to him. Now, stupid me, I thought he was actually calling to his real father. Turns out they're called fathers. But yeah, and Tom King, he makes sad, depressing elements in his story, which can be done good, as with anything else. But the thing is, as with anything else, in order to have something good with substance, you have to have substance. Something can't just be sad for the sake of being sad, just like something shouldn't be gory for the sake of being gory. There has to be some substance to it. So, like with a lot of his stuff, it's sad, but really there's no substance to it. Batman just failed, and that's kind of the whole thing. I mean, you see him here. Let me see. I mean, he's taking off his mask, just crying, I think, here, saying that he's sorry, and the priest is like, "Why are you sorry? I kind of did this on my own." And so ultimately, I've noticed that King's Batman just really, really likes to fail and really likes to loathe about it. So yeah, that was it. It's whatever, decent. It's about a Bible story. So yeah, you'll definitely read that if you get the book. And I was reading this here about Mitch Gerrards, how it talks about the advent of digital drawing and the new class of artists who take full control with, quote, penciling and, quote, inking because of digital art. And I just thought, well, that's really appropriate to put the quotations there, since he traces a lot of his work. Instead of using the tools as tools, he kind of uses them as crutches. Sorry. Which is just, oh man, the amount of gripes that I have with all those artists who trace is just a whole video in itself. So this next one is by Sophie Campbell, which it actually has no dialogue, which at first I was a little bit hesitant about, but really it's not trying to be anything crazy big. It's just this nice, cute little story with Catwoman and Batman, and the art style on it is actually really, really cool. A more animated style, but also not animated in the traditional sense like you'd normally expose yourself to, but it's a very unique animation style, which I personally find really cool and appealing to read, even without the dialogue. And not much happens, but Catwoman's stealing, and she sees this white cat, and naturally she thinks, what if I go white? So she goes white, gets the jump on Batman, and they kind of just kiss in the snow, maybe? Probably. Who knows? That's up to the imagination. So yeah, nice, cute little story there. Pretty nice. Not much to say about it. And, the art, it's just really, really something good to look at, especially the cityscape that she did right here. The way that she's able to use the negative values to portray the city, and in just such a simple way, illustrates so much in just this little piece right here. The lights emanating off the city here, and the smokestacks and the snow. It's just really, really fantastic art. And like my last review, if you get one of these issues, if all else, just get them for the art, which I would definitely recommend this one. So this next one here, Batman's chasing Joker in his Batmobile, obviously, and an EMP goes off. So he crashes and he's stuck under the Batmobile with a dam that's actually going to burst. So there's like this cool element of tension there. And he's about to get out, but the Joker kind of kills it. He says, "No, you can't get out." So the whole kind of thing is the Joker and him having a little back and forth. Uh, and the dialogue is it's pretty all right, you know. Like Joker talks about their relationship and them dying together, and it's a nice little twist that you don't usually see with the way that people write nowadays. Since everybody wants to copy the way that they used to write, and so the dam breaks, and Batman, of course, prevails over the Joker naturally, and the Joker says, "Hey, you owe me watching you die," and so they obviously fight. Real nice short little thing there. And next up is one of the most interesting ones, both artistically and from the story that it was telling. It tells a story about Batman having this mirror of him going around Gotham City, who's this guy right here, this white Batman. And it's almost everything that he does is mirrored, and so he's chasing him, and it's a real nice story. But when you look at the way that what I forgot his name already, Dustin Weaver illustrates all these things, I mean, just look at that cityscape. Just take a moment to appreciate all of that artwork that he put into this, all of that hard work that he put into this, you know? And so yeah, the story follows, and Batman's trying to investigate him while they're kind of fighting in the air, and he's talking to Alfred. Well, Bruce Wayne got his identity stolen by whoever this might be. So they're fighting, and it's going good until this giant airship appears out of nowhere that seems to have almost taken down Batman's craft. And one of the cool things about the writing is when Batman is going into the aircraft, the giant kind of spaceship that appeared, he's nervous. He talks here about how his heart was his chest was pounding, which you don't really hear from him. You know, he's this stoic, strong hero that doesn't really show any of that emotion. And here he's like, I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm going into. So I thought that paired with the illustration was just a very good method of visual storytelling, which is really cool, really unique. And so the ending to that was really weird. I mean, when I was reading it, it was kind of shocking, and it shocked me whenever I read it. I don't totally get the ending, but I'll leave that one to y'all to read. And the final one up is by David Aja or Aja. I'm not totally sure how you pronounce that, but it's the art's really nice, like with a lot of the rest of them, and it's done in a really unique way. It's kind of done in 4 panels segments, but it's done that way because every new line of panels is actually a new day of the week. So it's kind of implied that you're reading this in the newspaper on these days of the week. The dialogue is a bit odd, in my opinion, and not choppy, just different, and not bad or good. It's just different. So it's really interesting. It follows a cult that Batman's kind of following. They're decapitating people. He finds out who the cult leader is, and ultimately the cult leader commits suicide. But the artwork is just really unique, and it's something that you don't really see all too often, especially with the use of the screen tones to imitate that old newspaper print that they had. And his use of shadows in the artwork is also just incredible, because most of the art is just positive and negative space, which could be said for all art, but it's very apparent here. And the use of the gray tones is just enough to kind of balance it to where it has that balance, because some of the actual physical figure, if I can focus, is done in just gray tones with the screen tones that he uses. So it's really interesting, it's really unique, and if all else, even if you might not like the story that much, the artwork is definitely there, and it's something unique and something that you could really learn from if you study the techniques and the methods used in it, which I'll be making a video about artwork soon, so hopefully y'all can learn a thing or two, maybe improve yourself as artists, because I really want to dive into things like this, very unique art styles, and how to use different methods like the positive and negative space to shape an image in a way that nobody else can except for you with your own style. Because it's so much better to have your own style than to just copy other people. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice anthology with a nice pinup by de Ramon Villalobos in the back. So yeah, I'd say it's a recommend, and nice book. All of them, all the stories are pretty solid, and the artwork across the board is really good. So I'd say recommend it. Go out and get it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.